All right, guys, I'm sorry if this kind of makes you a little sick or something, but I'm going to be writing down how to calculate your grade in the class. So, Kiana was gracious enough to send me your guys' psychology syllabus, but I'm going to go through what is in your class, like what are your grades and stuff like that. I like to convert everything to points, so it just makes it easier for me. So right now, your totals, you have homework, you've got quizzes, you've got your midterm, and then you have ebook submissions, and then also your final. Okay, so according to your syllabus, homework's going to be 10%, your quizzes, I believe, are 15%, and then your midterm is 20%, your ebooks are 30% total, and your final is 25%. Okay, so if I'm going to go ahead and convert these to points, I need to know how many you have to do throughout the class, right? So it looks like you have 10 homeworks total. You've got 6 quizzes. You've got 1 midterm, obviously. You've got 15 ebook submissions that you have to do. And then you have 1 final, okay? So if I'm going points per submission or points per thing, it looks like if I've got 10 homework assignments and it's 10% apiece, they should be 1 point or 1% total, right, per homework submission. You've got 6 quizzes at 15%, so that means they're going to be 2.5 points apiece, or 2.5% each. You've got 1 midterm and it's 20%, so obviously that'd be like 20 points. You've got 15 ebooks and they're 30%, so that means they're going to be 2 points apiece, or 2% each. And then you've got 1 final, which is 25%. Okay, so this is just going through and figuring out, what your grade is composed of. Okay, so based on the syllabus, it looks like you guys have completed, let's see, what you've done in the class already. I'm sorry if I'm making you sick from moving this paper a lot, but this was the easiest way to do this. So it looks like you've done 5 homeworks, you've done 3 quizzes so far, you've submitted 10 ebooks, and you've taken 1 midterm, right? Because that was apparently on the 2nd. Okay, so how many points are your 5 homeworks? So if I've done 5 homeworks, that means I've got 5 points going towards homework, because remember, they're 1 point apiece. If I've taken 3 quizzes, they're 2.5 points apiece. So that means you're taking 7.5 points for quizzes. If I've done 10 ebooks, ebooks are 2 points apiece, because we've got 15 of them, so 2. So that means we've got 20 points for ebooks total. And then your midterm. So your midterm, midterm, final grade, or no, your midterm, 20%. Sorry, guys. And then that's going to be 20 points, right? Okay, so now we know. So if I'm looking at my homework grades, let's say I know that I've got 5 homework grades. I made a 100 on one of them. I made an 80 on one. I made a 20% on one because I didn't do too good. I made a 50, and I made another 100. Okay, I'm going to take the average of all of these. So I'm going to add all this up and divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to give me 70. Okay, so my average is 70. So we'll go to this 100 plus 80 plus 20 plus 50 plus 100 equals that, divided by 5 quizzes. Oops. Just kidding. 100 plus 80 plus 20 plus 50 plus 100 divided by 5 quizzes is 70. Okay, so I'm right. 70. And this is going to be 70 out of 100, right? So I've made 70%. Well, how the heck do I convert that to points? Okay, so I know that a 5 would be considered a 100, right? So far with my homeworks, because I've had 5 homeworks, they're worth 1 point apiece. If I've made 100 on them, I'm going to have a 5 total. So I just do cross multiplication. This has gotten me through, I don't know how much. So I take that 70, times it by 5, divide by 100. So 70 times 5 divided by 100 is 3.5. So right now, my 70 in this class, 70 of all my homework equals 3.5 of my final grade, all right, of the points that we've accumulated so far. All right, let's do your quizzes. So you've had 3 quizzes at 7.5 points total. So we know that a 100 is going to be 7.5 points. So let's say I've took 3 quizzes, I made an 80, an 80, and a 70. Okay, I've done okay. So I'm going to take the average of all this, just like I did with the homework, 80 plus 70, and divide that by 3, and I'm going to get 76.7. Okay, that's going to be my average right there out of 100 points. I need to convert it to my points so far that we've had in the class. So I know that a 7.5 is 100% because I've done 3 quizzes at 2.5 points apiece. So that's going to be 7.5. And I do my cross multiplication, 76.7 times 7.5 divided by 100, and I get 5.75. Okay, so that is going to be my overall quiz point value. Your ebooks, see where we're going with this. Ebooks. Okay, so say I've done 10 total. I'm not going to write down all 10, but I'm going to take the average of them, divide it by 10, and let's say I have an 80 average on my quiz, on my ebook submissions. Okay, same deal. We're just going to do the 100. Okay, and we know that the perfect score for all the ebook submissions right now, because I've done 10 at 2 points apiece, is going to be 20 points. Okay, so 20 is our bottom number. And I do my cross-level multiplication, 80 times 20 divided by 100, and that's going to give me 16. Hooray! And I can't circle because I'm down towards the bottom of the page. Okay, and so let's say my midterm. Yay! I'm going to say that I made a 75 on the midterm. We'll say we made a C on the midterm. Okay, so I made a 75 on my midterm out of 100. And I know that my midterm was 20 points, so 20 out of 20 would have been a 100, right? So I know that that's 20 points down here. 75 times 20 divided by 100 is going to give me 15. Okay, so that's what I made so far. Now, all you're going to do is add up these point values right here, because this is all that you've done so far. So you've done 5 homeworks, 3 quizzes, 10 ebooks, and 1 midterm. These are the possible amount of points that you can have in the class right now. So 20, 40, 5, it's going to give you 52.5. So 52.5 points total in your class so far, okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of my circled numbers and I'm going to add it up, okay? So I've got 3.5 plus a 5.75 plus 16 plus 15 is going to give me 40.25. Okay, so I have 40.25 points right now in the class out of 52.5. So I'm just going to divide it by 52.5, and it looks like I have a 76.6 in the class. Okay, I hope that makes sense. That was a really, really ugly video, but you guys let me know if you need anything else, okay? If you want to take a look at this, here's a larger breakdown of it. And if you guys' quizzes and homeworks aren't in like percents of 100. Like if you don't know if you get a 75 on the quiz or a like a 20% on the quiz or something like that, if they're more in point values, I can break it down. Just give me a little bit more information on how your Launchpad works. Okay, I'll talk to y'all soon. See you Thursday. Bye.